Welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and More. My name is Nancy, and I'm here just to have a general discussion today to touch base with whoever may be online. I'm going to wait to the 2 minute mark before I say anything else because it takes to the 2 minute mark for the health of the live stream to correct itself. So let's see what happens. Hello. How you doing, George? Yeah, it seems like I am, and then it seems like I'm not, George. It's in and out. And when I say everybody in my house they got sick, just about everybody I know is sick. I don't know. It's like more of a chest congestion thing or something. I don't know. But I feel okay as far as getting up doing stuff. But it's just a drag to have constantly coughing and being congested. So how you feeling tonight? What you up to? I'm trying to get it together. I just came on here to touch base and talk about something that I think is quite interesting. How the year 2020 lines up with like 2020 vision. And then I put out thinking about all the information that I've been getting in my research. And it really is really been focusing on trying to clear up people's vision or perception of our reality. And I was like, that's real interesting. And so I just wanted to come on here and talk about it a little bit, see what y'all was doing tonight. The health of the live stream has corrected itself again. Welcome to Get Angels Fly, Tarot, and More. My name is Nancy. I am a professional tarot reader, so if you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, just contact me at my email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. I ask you to please like the content if you enjoy it, to share it, and if you haven't already, to subscribe. Remember, once subscribed, click the bell so that you can be notified whenever I go live or upload a new video. You say, listening to the song Happy Feelings by Maze, what I'm doing now, and watching your show. Okay, how you holding up after the loss of your baby? You making it through? You're not? Are you too down? Don't be too down, George. Don't be too down. That's what I'm hoping. Anyway, can't tell you how to feel. I'm just hoping you ain't feeling too down. So I say it like that. Me personally, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to reorganize my channel for the year 2020 and beyond. I'm thinking about doing something a little different. And I think my decision about how I'm going to lay my channel out is going to depend on the information that I receive from here on out. Because I might be egotistical, George, and whoever else is watching. I may very well be egotistical. I'm going to have to admit that. But what I notice is that what I talk about on my channel, I don't get many views at all. But there are some people that I watch, and they seem to be talking about the exact same thing as me. The catch is, I read the stars and stuff like that, so I expect that information to be repetitive or widespread or common knowledge. But a lot of what I talk about, I'll say about maybe, to be perfectly honest, I'm going to say about 65% of the information that I share come from the stars. But the other 35 that completes my whole, any presentation I get, come from somewhere else. And they would have, I don't believe they would have any access to that other information that I have, the other 35%. So then it would be impossible for them to just about you know, deal exactly with the same things I'm dealing with. It would almost be impossible. And so, due to my ego, I'm thinking about, again, it's based on whatever I find out from here on out. But I think that I'm just going to like learn how to send like you an email, just particular people that's really been with me and been real loyal to me and stuff like that and supportive. Send y'all an email or a link to private videos. So most of my channel is going to progress like that. That's what I'm going to do. But again, it depends on the messages that I get. If I don't get nothing hot and spicy, then I won't do it. But if I do, expect an email or a link or something. I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. And I got a big mouth. I can't hold water, George. So I immediately, when I find out stuff, I be wanting to tell everybody. Like, y'all, hey, this is what you got to do to safeguard yourself. But I'm going to learn to hold my water. I'm going to learn to hold my water. Hi, everybody. Welcome here. Happy New Year's. If I haven't said Happy New Year's to y'all, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I did or didn't. But so Happy New Year's to y'all. And I'm just on here rambling. I don't have any notes. I was sharing with George here that I just thought it was interesting that the year 2020 was like similar to 2020, like in relative to vision. And I was thinking over all the messages that I've received, and a part of the message is about clearing up humanity's vision so that humanity can perceive reality. It's not just our physical vision with our eyes, it's not just that. It also has to do with our third eye. So we're dealing with three different eyes. We're dealing with the physical eyes as well as the third eye. And it seems like, based on all my studies and research, that life, God, something is saying that humanity is not perceiving our reality in its true context. That's what it seemed like. And so when I wrote down, for the first time, y'all, today, I wrote down 2020. Have y'all made a mistake yet and wrote 2019? Today I did. I wrote 2019. I was like, oh, no, it's 2020. And all day long I'm writing 2020. I was like, I got to get this, in my mind. It's 2020. A whole new decade. A new period. So I want to do a little numerology. Probably not in the traditional sense that other people do it. But here we go. This is how I do it. We know that 20 plus 20 equal 40. 4 and 0 reduces down to 4. Now I'm going to look online and see what they talk about online. So I'm going to be doing some Google stuff behind the scenes, y'all. I want to know what the number 4, numerology. I'm just write the number 4 and see what comes up. What comes up? The number 4. Oh, I'm going to have to go into that. That's a whole different thing. Okay. I'm going to click here. This is the mystical numbers. It says the number 4 is a number of stability, order, and completion of justice. Ooh, completion of justice. The number 4 is the number of the earth and mankind. What? The number 4 is the number of earth and mankind. I've never heard that. I always associated, learned that the number 6 was associated with man, like 666 and things like that. Anyway, it says the number 4 is the number of the square. I knew that. And that's where I was going to go with the square. Let's see. What am I reading on? Did I say mysticalnumbers.com? Number 4 symbolizes building a strong foundation. Okay, I know that. And that is part of what what divinity has been trying to lead us or compel us to do is to build a strong foundation. So that makes sense to me. There are four cardinal points: north, south, east, and west. That makes sense to me as well, but not relative to vision. And there are four winds. We've talked about that before, where there are four. I don't know if y'all remember talking about the winds and how the winds are four individual, unique entities, and they can blow at the same time if they wish. Oh, who the heck is it? Oh my goodness! How as soon as I go live, do you have a? Okay. So the four winds. There are four phases of the moon. Wow, that I can confess I never thought of. Four phase: waxing, waning. Seems like it's more than that. I have to go back. It seems like more. I guess um, four basic phases of the moon, but they got the waxing and waning and things like that. Okay, I can dig that. There are four seasons. Okay, that's elementary. In the West, we have four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. The number four is a perfect number. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Anniversary. The fourth year anniversary is traditionally celebrated with fruits and flowers in the West. Astrology and tarot. Okay, this is where I was going with it. The number four is associated with Cancer and is the fourth astrological sign. Let's see. The number four is lucky for Leo and Scorpio. In the tarot, number four, the card of the Emperor. The Emperor represents material goods and worldly authority. Now that really, so I'm just on a flight here live and looking at this information. And again, I was like 2020. I mean, how can I say this? When they call it the Gregorian calendar, I think it's the Gregorian calendar. Or I have to look it up. I don't know if it's Gregorian or Julian, whatever calendar we're up under. When the calendar was created, was it created? I got some information about the calendar, but 2020 started me to thinking like, was our current calendar created and it's set up in a way that also has like hidden messages that need to be decoded. One of the hidden messages I decoded some time ago had to do with the development of our social structure and the social hierarchy, and we covered that in the video pyramids. So now when I'm looking at 2020, it sure enough has a lot of connotations associated with it. It almost seems like it can't be what's the word, about like just by chance. It just can't be by chance. I mean, just going to this random website, mysticalnumbers.com, and reading what they have about the number four. It also lines up with what the messages have been that I picked up that I picked up. God dang it. That I picked up in my studies when I interpret the astrological alignments, right? I lose track of my thoughts. I be on something else. Devil always busy all the time. All the time. Never fails. All the time. Okay. So, what messages have I picked up in my astrological research? You know, and when I interpret the stars. One is that remember I was saying that when we enter into 2020, what would be triggered here from that moment on is each person's concern about their sense of physical, worldly security. You know, if they have or they have not, and based on just this website, this random website I've gone to, it associates the number 4, because we're dealing with numerology right now, reducing 2020 to the number 4. It associates it with the sign of Cancer, which occupies the 4th house in astrology. And wow, okay. And it also associates it with the Emperor card. An Emperor card. And reading from the site, it says in the tarot, the number 4. Okay, it associates it with the tarot because it's number 4. Okay, number 4 is the Emperor, so it associates it with the Emperor. And the Emperor represents, it says, material goods, and so that lines up with what has been projected or presumed to be people's concern, material goods or physical worldly security. And why will people be concerned about such things? It is because of this other association with the Emperor, which is worldly authority. Based on worldly authority, which is the government, and how it has determined this world should be governed, and the regulations, laws, policies, taxes, all them kind of things we talked about. The worldly authorities will lead people to have these major concerns about their physical, worldly well-being. So that makes sense relative to the number 4. But I was personally going to associate the number 4 with George. For a couple of minutes, I wasn't able to communicate with you on your live chat. Really. I'm not surprised, George. I'm just really not surprised. But thank you for your patience. And again, your commitment. Your commitment. So now the number 4, how I was going to associate it with was the 4th house of Cancer. Because when it comes to you being a person being feeling physically secure in this world, it depends on if they have what they need or not to, pacify what? Their physical bodies, their 5 senses, different things like that. If you don't have what you need, it leads you to be uncomfortable and insecure and unstable in this world. And that ultimately has a negative impact upon one's inner emotional state. And having the ability to feel secure and stable, loved, supported, nurtured, receiving nourishment, that kind of thing. So that's what the number 4 suggests to me. So what am I saying? I'm saying the year 2020, based on all the stuff I've been, researching, suggests that, and we've talked about it, I'm still going over the same things that we've talked about already. Why am I going over it, again, in a different way? It is because it's like no matter where I look, my vision leads me to see the same thing over and over again. So it's not like the truth or the future is truly a mystery. It's not. It comes to us, the truth comes to us in so many different forms. It's just like, can we see? Can we see? And so the year 2020, this as we when we entered this new decade, 20, which is 2020, it seems to me that our life experiences, or the life experiences that we will have, each of us will be trying to help us to be able to see clearly, to have clear vision, not only with the physical eyes, but also with the third eye. Before you can truly see with your third eye, you got to be able to accept what you see with your two, physical eyes. You got to believe what you see. You have to understand and be able to discern what you see when you see it. Once you can accept the truth, whatever it may be, even if it's something that you don't agree with, you don't like, but once you accept it as what it really is, then that's when your third eye opens up and you really gain, we could say, spiritual 20/20 vision. Okay, you have the bright motherly energy. Don't let them take that away from you. I pray now. I be trying to hold on to it. I try. I'm not sure it's worth it. I mean, I'm about to divert and talk about something else, George. Just when you said that, made that statement about, I got the bright motherly energy. Don't let them take it away from me. Uh, because the devil always busy. But soon as I read that, I thought about the movie Doomed, Doom, with what his name, Dwayne. You know what I'm talking about, The Rock. I can't remember his last name. The Rock. And in that movie, remember it was about angels. Ooh, it was about people morphing into angels or demons. The majority of the whole lab morphed into demons. But there were a few people that didn't change into demons once exposed to whatever the element was. Once they were exposed to it, they would turn to elements. But when the story was being told, it started in ancient times, and it talked about this, I don't know the history of, I guess, the angels and demons or whatever, but the researchers had unearthed, oh yeah, that's what it was. The researchers had unearthed a mother, and it was like a skeleton of a mother in a defense posture, defending not only herself but her infant. And they were frozen in that pose. And in that movie, I was like, that's not, because they made it sound like it was such a good thing that they were angelic beings. I was like, hell, how does an angelic being, and it is a skeleton. You know what I'm saying? It's a skeleton. Her and the baby was a skeleton in the movie. I was like, that ain't no angelic being. That don't make no sense. Talking about they had ascended in angelic and they didn't turn to demons. Well, that's okay, because it looked like the demons sucked the flesh off their bone. So that mother thing, I ain't too sure about. I ain't too sure about, George. I remember when I saw that, so I ain't gonna be that kind of mama. I ain't gonna be that kind of mama. Dwayne Johnson, yep. After his father, WWF wrestler. Really? I did. Rocky Johnson? That was his father? Rocky Johnson. Older WWF wrestler is Dwayne Johnson's father. I'm going to look that up. I ain't never known that. Wow, I never knew that. So did he? The Rock was a wrestler at one time, right? Wasn't he? And then he went to the movies. So is that how he got started? He been doing movies so long, I forgot where he started at. Okay, so now back to this seeing with 2020 vision. Now I want to, where is that? Over here, the chart. Y'all know I don't never know where it is. This is the standardized vision chart. You know, where they do the eye test. And so I done typed it. It might be an error or two in there. I don't know. So I typed it so we can have it up here. Because I was like, what does it mean to have 20/20 vision? I don't know how to say this. What does it mean to have 20/20 vision? Well, what it means is that when you put that, cover your left eye up and then your right eye, and you read each line, it's when you can cover up each eye and read all the way to the bottom. To the bottom. Now, the bottom line here is, I don't know if y'all gonna do it. You know I try to make my videos interactive. Check it out. Let me see. See, I've been typing it. I kind of get it. And my board real big, y'all. Because my stuff on my TV. So it's a 55-inch TV, y'all. I'm cheating. But I think it say DEFPOT. Because I remember it was pot. I said I never knew that. So how did I fail last time I took an eye exam? Pot. POTEC. Pot tech. Is that what it is? I'm going to remember this so next time I go try to take a driver's test. So it's deaf, pot, and we just tech. Deaf, pot, tech. So I can go in there. I was like, yeah, I can see it. DEFPOTEC. Oh, crap. I really can't see. So, y'all, I'm going to tell you, I'm completely blind. I can see color and blurry in this eye. Remember I told y'all about this eye? And we're being microwaved in that video. So that's that eye. Going by memory. What was it? My memory bad too. That's old people problems. Okay. I remember pot. Was it P? I don't remember. What was it? Oh, deaf pot. DEFPOTEC. If you can do that with both eyes, then you have 20/20 vision if you can read that bottom line. But based on what I'm coming to understand through my studies, is that the majority of humanity, not just people in the United States, not just people in Europe, no, I'm talking about people all over the world. Humanity, all the individuals that create humanity, a large portion, I'll say, of the individuals that create humanity do not have 20/20 vision relative to seeing our reality. And if they don't have 20/20 vision as relative to seeing our reality, there's no way that the third eye is open. So, now what most folks can see is that E at the top with no problem. And see, just seeing that E at the top, if you are lucky, I guess I can say, to be able to see the E at the top, is a person in this physical world accepting what they see at face value, but not having discernment. Accepting what one sees at face value, but never asking any questions, don't have the gift of discernment, never using discernment, will not do research or cross-check, reference, debate, whatever you got to do, or a person has to do in order to make sure that they're seeing clearly, they won't do it. So, now I'm going to put my glasses on. Because truth matter, I couldn't see that last line. Not at all. You say Dwayne Johnson was the prodigal son. His father never got a chance to fight for the WWF. Oh, he lived vicariously through him, huh? Championship. So Rock taking on his father's name. Rocky really did it for him. Wow. That is too cute of a story. I never knew that. I know I'm a big fan of Dwayne Johnson for The Rock. I want to know what The Rock cooking. I do. Lord knows I do. Let me get back on the subject matter. Look, ain't this funny, George? Half the time I can't see. But I bet you if I seen The Rock, I could see clearly with 20/20 vision. I could see then. I can see then. So now at this time, I'm going to WWF. No. I'm going to WWF. I'm going to www.wackpedia.com to look up. I typed in 20/20 vision. And 20/20 vision directs me, in Wackpedia to visual acuity. Don't get started. Visual acuity. Visual acuity. Visual acuity. Acuity. Visual acuity. And so I just wanted to read some of the information associated with visual acuity. I do believe, if I'm understanding this correctly, this chart over here, the standardized chart that is used to test a person's vision, is testing their visual acuity. It's testing their visual acuity. Acuity. Okay. You got to do what you got to do when you can't read pronunciate. What they say. What's the term? Don't judge me. The statement. Don't judge me. I'm going to figure it out. So y'all can't see this Wackpedia page. But I just want to read a little bit. Y'all just ride the wave with me. You know how I am with my reading. But it says visual acuity. Did I pronounce that right? Acuity. Acuity. I did it right. Okay. Visual acuity, or capital VA, commonly refers to the clarity of vision. Visual acuity is dependent on optical and neural factors. This is the visual aspect of vision. Now, as I read this, keep in mind we're not just talking about physical vision. We're also talking about your spiritual vision, or having your third eye activated. Like in the physical, it's saying a visual acuity. Visual acuity, or testing to see just how clear and crisp a person sees, is dependent on the optical and neural factors. So we're talking about physical factors that can be measured. But my thing is, how do you end up, I'll say, testing your spiritual vision? How do you test your spiritual vision? Now, that's a question that I hope we can answer one day, and I'll answer it one day soon. Because I don't think I'm going to be on here long because my voice cracking and I'm not prepared. But I will say this, because I've been a forgot. Answering that question from my life experience, everybody likes Dwayne Johnson. Stay in the line. Oh, hell no. I'm going to have to be last in line. I'll be last in line. Well, he look like he can handle it. He look like he can handle it. So I'll wait. So when it comes to having visual acuity of the spiritual eye, or your third eye, how do we test these things? An example based on my life experiences and what I've gone through and what I do is, just in the last live stream, I made a statement about after you've had a set of life experiences, there are only certain possibilities that can occur. And the various possibilities that can occur are the probabilities, or the probable manifestations. In order to how you say, figure out case scenarios, possible case scenarios, and then entering into one of those particular scenarios is what shows just how clear your vision is in the spirit. Let me take it a step further, because let's say a person had so many past life experiences and they be like, oh my God, where my life going? And they sit down and they really go into a state of meditation and they figure out, we're going to say, just keeping with the examples I've been using, 4 possible scenarios, the probabilities that can happen based on past life experiences. They come up with 4. They might be an amateur. You know what I'm saying? But they can see those 4 possibilities based on what their previous life experiences, the reality. You got to understand the reality of the world, see it clearly, and accept it for what it is in order to create those probabilities. And then when you step over in that one of them probabilities into the soul, you understand that your vision is clear. But remember, this is an amateur with 4. This is an amateur. A person can get to the point where, based on past life experiences, looking at all the details associated with our reality, can say, I see 2 probabilities and that's it. And they are right. And they move into it. That would suggest then that their spiritual vision, their discernment, their vision, discernment, and what's the other word on there? I can't think of the other word, is more crisp, more clear. They have visual, they have a crisp visual
acuity.
A crisp visual
Acuity.
I'll remember the word one day. But then there's another person that's highly advanced. And they've had their unique set of life experiences. They accept what they have experienced and understand the ins and out of it. They also look at our reality, and especially their immediate reality and all that it consists of, accepting it for what it is. And examples of accepting stuff for what it is like, say, some things people cannot accept because it hurt them. Like a person not loving them, or that a person would steal from me, like that person would steal from me, so I would ignore that. No, in order to have the highest or 2020 visual
Acuity.
with 2020 spiritual, 2020, no, spiritual 2020 visual
Acuity.
Will require a person to be able to accept that which they would not be able, really don't want to. You have to accept those truths. You have to accept the truths and the reality about our world, every bias that one is aware of. Of course, no one person is aware of every single thing in this world. So it's no way a person can predict the total outcome of existence or of God. It's no way, because we don't know all things. But the more that you know about a particular subject matter and in anything that crosses it or cross sections it or is related to it, will help a person narrow down the possible or the upcoming reality. And that is spiritual 2020 vision, the clearest type. Let's see. Hello. Hi, Josh. How are you? Happy New Year's. Hello, host. Happy New Year's. Thank you for the info you are giving us in the stream, sending good energy. Well, thank you, Josh, very much. You say George Dwayne Johnson's father looks like the man on my mom's side of the family. Now, George, let me ask a question. Dwayne Johnson, his father, do we look like him? Do the Rock look like his daddy? That's what I need to know. Because if The Rock looked like his daddy, and his daddy looked like the men on the side of your mama's family, then I got to come pay y'all a visit. Look, you know what? Because I might not want to stand in line for Dwayne Johnson if I can get something that look quite similar. You know, look, George, they ain't got to be on the level of Dwayne Johnson. Remember, I ain't got 20/20 vision. I ain't got 20/20 vision. I got about, what's that, 20/25 vision. So it'll all balance out in the end. Oh. So let me go back here. And I'm going back over to Wikipedia to read a little bit more about the visual acuity. Acuity?
Acuity.
Acuity. Okay. It says the sharpness of the retinal focus within the eye, the health and functioning of the retina, and the sensitivity of the interpretive faculty of the brain. The sensitivity of the interpretive faculty of the brain. That's interesting. Can I hold on to that? Because we're not just dealing with physical vision, now that we're in 2020, we're also dealing with spiritual vision. And when it talks about the physical vision, it says that it has to do with, having visual acuity or clarity of vision. It's the sensitivity of the interpretive function of the brain. So it's a particular part, hallelujah. It's a particular part of the brain that, how did it say? I'm trying to hold on to it, y'all, because I saw something. It's a particular part, the interpretive faculty of the brain. So it's a particular part of the brain that is just for interpreting what? The light that it takes in, or decoding what one sees. And that's in the physical. So what I got excited about was in our studies, we have covered how our brain is a physical tool. It's a part of this physical vessel. It belongs to this physical realm. It is a tool that helps us humans interact and interface with this physical realm. And so if we're talking about that's fine, the brain, that interpretive part is that interpretive faculty part of the brain that can interpret the the signals that it gets for the physical eyes, relative to the physical eyes. That's okay. But how does the third eye see? How does the third eye really see? What does it have to be connected with? See, the eyes and the physical are connected with the brain. They're both physical tools, interactive tools, or interchangeable tools. But the third eye, the spiritual eye, the gift of discernment, what is it interlinked with or interconnected with? Yeah, y'all. Remember our studies? The mind. Remember, the mind is not a physical thing. It is more ethereal and spiritual, and it connects us to divinity, to God, to demons and devils and things like that. Those demons and devils and things like that are what? Different forms of consciousness, or different sets of information, which are consciousness. And that consciousness gives you an awareness about something, gives you an awareness about something. You get what I'm saying? So that's another way that our spiritual eye is open or keen or made more clear. Is to understand that we have to have a connection with something, I'll say. Because it's up to each of us what we connect with. I'm about to deviate off of this, away from this subject matter, to talk about what our minds are connected with. Depends on who we are. Now, based on my life experiences, it seems to me that some people, just from, not some, all, no, all that I've met, people minds are connected to different entities. It seems to me, do I know this to be 100% true? The answer is no. But based on my experiences, it seems like this is the case. And the case seems to be that there are some people, when they're born into this world, their mind is like already pre connected with hell. Hell. With hell. And they have remembrances. People like this have remembrances of hell, torture, torment. They have a idea or a concept of what it means to be in eternally tortured. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother concept. We've touched on it a couple of times. I told about me having that experience, and I understand eternally being tortured, and then yet I sit here because it's a what? State of consciousness that is absent from all other consciousness. So that's a whole nother thing. It goes real deep. It can lead a person to have what they call dissociative disorder, or a psychotic break. So I'll leave that alone. Try not to go too deep. So the mind. Some people are born with an attachment to hell and demons. Other people are born and already attached to divine beings. Now, I'm sharing something about myself where I'm like, I'm telling you, maybe I'm egotistical, I'm a human, it's possible, or it is really my reality, is that I have, how can I say, I don't even know, I forgot, old people stuff, but people have, let me kind of backtrack, people are born already connected with certain realms, and those realms have, or dimensions have its own conglomerate of entities and consciousness, and it helps to govern who they are early on. You know, any fears they have that don't make any sense to them. No, it doesn't make any sense. This is another thing that a person on a spiritual level would need: the gift of discernment, acceptance, and ability to see. Is to be able to see that, again, based on what I've experienced, not everybody like have you ever met somebody so happy and they naturally just happy, sunshine? They're tapped in, and they may have been like that their whole life. That's because they're tapped into a consciousness from birth that gave them that joy and that happiness. And those type of people don't understand a person that comes from a place, even from a child and we don't understand children when they're sad and depressed when they're little, but they come from a place of sadness and emptiness and a void. And then, like I said, there's people that come from hell and know of eternal torment. And that's a whole nother, again, concept. And they come here and people are like, why are they so mean, grumpy, evil? It's because their minds are attached to, or has a connection with, something that existed before this physical realm, and it's still connected. You know, it still has this understanding or this comprehension or awareness of what it means to be associated with whatever dimension or realm a person comes from. And I had what I was gonna say and forgot it that quick. God dang it. I ain't curse, y'all. I didn't curse. And so I was saying it's important for a person to be able to see where they come from, you know, or what they're attached to. Because this is what I'll say. Now this, on my level, higher me as an individual, I'm trying not to forgive, is I on my level, I don't know why. I don't understand why we are all here in this physical realm. I don't understand why. And we came from so many different places. Sometimes you may hear people talk about we come from different planets. I don't see it as coming, and maybe it's coming from different planets. Maybe each of these dimensions are on different planets. I don't know. But I do know that our souls come from different places. That I'm 100% sure of. Can I prove it? Answer is no. However, I know it. I've lived this thing, as I told y'all. So all of our spirits have come in, and what we all have in common, no matter where we come from, is that we get in one of these bodies that interacts and interfaces in this realm. Wow. What is it? This is something else I believe would be beneficial to us. When I say us, I'm talking about humanity, the individuals that create humanity, to get clarity on, to understand why a person again may be more prone or susceptible to chronic or manic depression, or they may be more negative or more in the disposition, or more joyful in a disposition. And I think it is important because it's this thing like, why are we here if we coming from all these different places of consciousness? What is it that we're supposed to learn or come to understand on a collective level? It's like it's the central core or of something that it's like a core consciousness that all of us are supposed to come to know. And is that, but we can't get there because we're not seeing everything else. And so what am I contending? I'm contending that the year 2020 is the onset of humanity being compelled to see clearly in different manners. The first thing is we got to be able to see clear in the physical. Like one of the things we talk about here on my channel is how people don't understand that life takes care of life. And life is reoccurring and it has its own cycles and things like that. The tree blossom in the spring, die in the fall, and die in the winter. It's come back up. What's making it do that? You know what I'm saying? Is people are born every day, new babies born every day. We go from baby. Can you believe I was a baby at one time? That my mama held me, probably breastfed me. Can you believe that? And then I grew on up into this, what you see sitting before you. And one day, hopefully not soon, I'm going to be dead, cremated, and just some ashes out in the wind. What makes that happen? That is a heck of an intelligence. I mean, to have this self-contained ecosystem supporting itself in every way, but people can't see that. That's what I'm talking about. People don't understand this is a self-contained ecosystem that was developed intentionally by a superior intelligent being. We can't argue that. Who in their right mind would argue that? Even if this was a matrix or some type with a simulation, it's still an advanced video game, I must say. You know what I'm saying? We have these feelings, we have sensations, we are happy, we have what do you call it? Ecstasy. People get high and they be high and the mother something. You know what I'm saying? Ecstasy, and just it's titillating. Totally. Who in their right mind can argue that this experience here, this place, this planet, this simulation, however a person want to label it, ain't the most high-tech thing that in existence? It's totally interactive and it's totally self-sustained. And I went in so much detail because people are not seeing. I'm talking about people that create humanity overall, all over the world, not understanding that we are being manipulated, bamboozled, worked out of. I don't know what's the word. I got a word for it, but I can't pull it up. By those that have been empowered throughout the history of humanity. Out of the history of humanity. There's no reason at all, unless a person can show the deed or how they made this place or that they got ownership over. It's no way that there should be billionaire people while there are other people starving to death. There's no reason. And my point is in saying that is that if a person can't show or prove that they have ownership of this advanced sphere, then how can we people, humanity, allow these people to stay in power, allow these people to stay hidden, and to live a more than reasonable life and have more than a reasonable lifestyle? Again, why there's a total polarity of a person that's literally starving to death or freezing to death in this world. That's one of the first things we got to see. You know, we need 20/20 vision in the physical realm and in the spirit realm. I missed something. The other thing is, it went somewhere. It's flying everywhere, y'all. It's flying everywhere. I'm trying to catch it. It's like, you says Dwayne Johnson dad is kick ass, is he? Hit the like. You heard, y'all. See George type. Hit the like button. Please do it for Miss Nancy. Yes. And thank y'all for dropping by here to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more. If you're new here, my name is Nancy. I am a professional tarot reader. And if you ever want a tarot reading, all you got to do is contact me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. All the instructions to ordering your own personal tarot reading is below this live stream and every video I make. When you email me and tell me you want a reading, I'm going to send you an email to give you all the instructions. Don't worry about it. Please like this video if you enjoy the content. Share it with somebody. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, once subscribed to my channel, don't forget to click the bell so you'll be reminded whenever I go live or upload a new video. I'm getting good, y'all. I'm getting good. Look, at least in this moment. It says, and Happy New Year's to you too if it's the first time I'm talking to you in 2020. It says, I looked up Dwayne Johnson's dad, Rocky Johnson, is black. He was fighting for a wrestling championship, but because of racism, they did not give it to him, even though he was beating everybody up. What? Wow. What a story. I'm really going to go look into that. Nancy, is there really an afterlife or a reincarnation, or if it's just our brain chemicals play tricks on us? Now, I can't say, George, 100% that I know that there is a reincarnation or afterlife, because I ain't went there yet. But all the way I'm built, you know, I watch life, and it's like, where did the baby come from? You know, the body, the physical body created the vessel, but where did the soul, that soul, we'll say, come from to get in that baby to animate it into this world? And then, like when my mama died, what happened? The vessel was left here, but that which animated it and gave her swag was gone. You know, in order for a spirit to come into a baby's body, that means it had to come from somewhere, which means there has to be recycling, afterlife. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it goes back into. Me talking about, 100%. I know that there are. I've been introduced to so many spirits in my life. It's tripped out, you know. So many spirits in my life, and it's like to be able to see spirits that animate a person. We talk about the spirits within. That those spirits, how can I say, They're connected to, again, something else. They can you see? Have you ever seen spirit, George? Like for instance, you say I had this motherly energy or whatever. Do you know that motherly energy is a spirit? That's seeing you with that. Would you be able to? By you being able to say like, hey, Miss Nancy, you got this. You know, however you define it, motherly spirit. You know, energy. That is a spirit. But many times we look at spirits as being, yeah, you know, demonic, vampirish. Not all spirits are like that. There's all types of spirits, you know. And so, again, George, you just talked about the motherly energy. But what do I always tell y'all about? The double-headed dragon. That's something y'all ain't never met. You know what I'm saying? If like the double-headed dragon was to come out, my whole physical face would change. You know what I'm saying? And parts of my body would change. I'm going to take it a step further. See, we need to learn to see. I don't know why I can't hold my people coming in when I'm live is not growing. I'm not going to get upset. This is 2020, new year. Another thing is, and I don't talk a lot about sex because I understand the realities of our world, and most times a person that does not fit the standards of beauty or the social norms, standards, or that which is trending, as far as physical beauty or stature, whatever a person has to say is dismissed. So I don't talk much about sex. I made a few videos about sex and talk about the kundalini and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to talk about sex a little bit more here. Now, how can I say this? We're going to point out some spirits. We're going to use me as an example. George, you pointed out the spirit of, I don't know if I can go back and find exactly how you stated it, the way you perceived it. You said that I have a bright motherly energy. Bright motherly energy. So, that is a spirit that you see, or a state of consciousness that makes me aware about how to be motherly. You know, that kind of thing. It's a consciousness. Not everybody has it. I talk about the double-headed dragon. And I tell you, the double-headed dragon is very violent, is fierce. And I bring it back up because if I would allow that particular beast to take control of my vessel, then my exterior body, my physical body, would change form. Would it change form like Transformers? You know, spirits in disguise. It depends. I'll say that it depends. But for most, I say, it's, what's the word? What's the word for? Y'all gotta find a word. I gotta find a word. Be patient with me. Ride the wave. If you follow me, you know how I do things. You have to grow the vocabulary. It is, obscured. Let's see. Oh, wrong place. No, I didn't want that. Let's see. Copy. Wow. What's that here? Obscured. It's obscured. Concealed. No. Covered. Maybe covered. Ambiguous. Secondary. Selfish. Uncovered. No. Personal. Privacy. More unsaid. No. Implied. Hidden. Guarded. More covered. It's more elusive. Let's see. More like, that didn't come out right. Let's see. Okay. It's more subtle. Nice word. I was going to the thesaurus.com. That's where I was going, George. So, whatever I may morph into, most times, is subtle. The physical changes that occur in my body are subtle. You know, I have seen times that the transformation were not subtle, but very blunt and obvious, where a person might say something like, I see this. Whatever they were seeing is like a physical formation of my flesh that is like imagery of the spirit that dwells within. Like if I be angry to the point of the double-headed dragon level, I have double dragon, maybe I have two vessels pop out my neck. You know what I'm saying? And my eyebrows will go up or something. You know what I'm saying? It'll be something like that. Another thing these are things we don't pay attention to. We gotta have 20/20 vision. Like if I was to become, I have a, what do we call it? I don't know. Oh, what's the word? I know the word, but I don't know the word. It's flying. So much stuff flying around me right now, y'all. So it's like, we're gonna say, a sex goddess. I go through a sex goddess mode. And when the sex goddess mode come on, it causes physical transformations of my flesh vessel. Many times it's subtle. But if I'm around somebody that I'm really digging, and I'm an Aquarius, so it is very hard for me to get to the point where I'm digging somebody on that level. But if I dig somebody on that level, excuse me for being a little vulgar, but this 50-year-old breast sit up. You know what I'm saying? They don't need a bra. You know what I'm saying? It's like even wild animals have physical manifestations of, like if they're in heat or something like that. Oh yeah. My face seems younger. It'll get thinner. Just all kind of stuff. It is like amazing. And I've taken that opportunity, y'all. I've even tape measured and saw the difference. I'll go in a clothing store and I'll wear 2-3 sizes smaller. Oh, I've been watching this for a mighty long time. My teeth are straightened out. Oh, when the I call it a queen bee come out, it's straightened all out. Woo! Especially if it's a Dwayne Johnson, yeah, straighten out. It know how to act. And so that's another spirit that dwells within. And there are a few others. I won't let y'all know about everything about me. So let's see. I've seen supernatural creatures, especially ones that like to suck off my energy, and one interdimensional being cursed out at me. Oh, so you've seen some things, huh, George? You know what I'm talking about. See, I like people that's had experiences, especially people willing to share, because people will act like they can't see or haven't seen or will ignore it. What are one of the rules to be able to open up your third eye? You got to be able to accept what you see. You said one of them mother suckers did what? Interdimensional being cursed you out. Cursed you out. Cursed you out. You know what you experienced, right? Okay. That's why your third eye is probably open. But people don't want to see that. They do not. Many people do. What the hell is that? All right, something dinging and banging. And so, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm also all over the place. So, I was talking about the things that, in order for us to gain clarity, clear-sightedness, or what's the word? I'm going to pronounce it. Visual acuity. Visual acuity. Or clear, where is it at? Clear vision? Clarity of vision. We need clarity of vision in the physical, with the physical eyes, as well as with the spiritual eyes. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the year 2020 and beyond. 20 plus 20 equals 40. 40 reduces down to 4. And the number 4 is has multiple meanings. And we've talked about it being the number 4 being the tarot card, the Emperor. And it talks about material goods. It also talks about, with the number 4, the Emperor, about the authority figures or people in power. And right now, as we enter 2020, there's a concern about each of our physical sense of worldly security. if you got the material goods that you need or not, based on the laws and the regulations set up by the authority figures that run this world, the powers that be. Another thing, 2020 reducing down to 4 it symbolizes is, how do you feel? Do you feel emotionally secure? Many times when people are homeless, hungry, cold, sick, don't have a house over their head or no sense of stability, don't got no clothes, no shoes, or whatever they need to help, life be a little easier while they're here, it usually has a negative impact upon their emotional state. If it goes unchecked, those needs not being met, it can lead to depression and a whole gamut of negative things. Everything from suicide to robbing, stealing, and killing, all kind of things. Why? Because the person is not emotionally secure. They don't feel supported. They don't feel loved. They don't feel worthy. And see, that's what 2020, entering into this new decade, is first going to reveal to us just how, many people aren't secure. And because if we don't want to see, if we don't want to accept, if we don't want to have clarity on the subject matter, then we're going to get the negative effects of such things. We're going to get the negative effect of people starving. Ain't nobody going to willingly starve to death. They're going to do whatever they got to do. Or they're going to be people that we're going to get the negative effects of people being cold and homeless. Not many people going to keep being cold and homeless, especially with the, what they call it, the weather changing and being unstable. I mean, either it's hot as hell in some areas of the world, or it's dead hell cold. And ain't nobody gonna keep sitting up here freezing to death. And over the last 5 to 7 years, I know I've heard about about 4 or 5 houses blowing up because people couldn't afford to pay their utility bill. And so they trying to, what they call it, shortcut, run their own lines, cut stuff on illegally, using these houses, like in my area, almost 100 years old, I talk about all the time. 100-year-old houses that have not had their fireplaces serviced. So it leads the fireplace to be susceptible to catch on fire, which means the house catch on fire, which means people die. But even though we keep hearing these stories about people dying and their houses blowing up and the kids dying of asphyxiation, ain't nobody doing nothing. There are no groups. I mean, it's a few that come together and say they create what they call it, like getting supplemental services or money to help people pay their utility bills. But the whole issue is it should not be an issue. We are not looking at our system. And this is another thing the astrological energies talked about. It talked about people that are in a class level, social class level, where however the system is run, it doesn't affect them. They make, if you make money, you can buy your way out of anything. Don't let nobody lie to you. That's another reality about our world. The more money you got, the more social affiliations you got, the more socially affluent you got, you buy your way out of anything. Anybody that don't agree with that is a liar. And they don't have 20/20 vision in their bodies. And so there are those that sit above, just above, and beyond, and upwards, above the hardships that can manifest in this world, just as a result of living in this world under these various constructs, and it's those people that knowingly turn a blind eye. Remember we talked about that? Knowingly turn a blind eye. I forgot what I was going to say. I started cussing. So, anyway, let me stop cussing. I have to remember what I was going to say. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go back and read the rest, some more of this Okay, more of this AV, about the AV. It says a common cause of low visual acuity is refractive error. Now I'm getting into words that I cannot even pronounce. Or errors in how the light is refracted in the eyeball. And I was reading this for a reason. I want to read more. Hopefully I don't forget where I was going. Causes of refractive errors include abrasions in the shape of the eyeball. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, okay. Or the cornea, and reduced flexibility of the lens, like a hardening of the lens. Too high or too low refractive error in relation to the length of the eyeball is the cause of nearsightedness. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. Nearsightedness, or myopia, or farsightedness, hyperopia. Normal refractive status is referred to as emmetropia. I don't know. But reason why I'm going to read that, because I knew it was something. Still dealing with the year 2020 and comparing it to 2020 vision and what it means, or to have 2020 vision. Is one of the things we're talking about, how to get 2020 vision, both in the physical and in the spiritual, relative to our reality. Also talking about those that can't see. They can only see the E. They take everything at face value. And they don't want to learn. They don't want to research. They don't want to be told no. They don't want to see it from another's perspective. Many people are biased. As we move down this chart over here, each level of the chart, it's numbered 1 through 8. Each level of the chart can be defined or paralleled to a particular class of people, or not class, group of people, not class, because I'm not talking about social class. I'm talking about grouping of people and the way they think or see or perceive reality. I don't think we're going to be going that deep, but who knows? I already took a nap, so I'm up tonight. So, now I was just reading back at Wikipedia about VA, or visual acuity, so or clear-sightedness, or clear vision, or clarity of vision, level of clarity of vision. And so now, what I just read talked about being nearsighted or farsighted. So it was something that I wanted to read, because I read it first before I came over here. Let me see if I click this here. Nearsightedness. Oh, I didn't click it. That's what I didn't do. Let me see if I go back. Oh, I messed it up. I didn't. Okay. I know what I did. I just hovered over it. Okay, let's talk about nearsightedness, also known as short-sightedness, in an eye disorder where light focuses in front of instead of on the retina. This causes distant objects to be blurry. While close objects appear normal. Other symptoms may include headaches and eye strain. Severe nearsightedness, ... Why did I feel like that is so relative to comparing the number of the year 2020 to 2020 vision, both in the physical and in the spiritual, relative to how we, the people, the humans that create humanity, perceive our reality. It is because when it comes to nearsightedness, it's suggesting that people are taking what they see and are experiencing in a moment, in real time, as facts. It's truth. And what was I saying? People that can see the E at the top, the big old E, clearly taking things at face value. They don't want to research. They don't want to question. They don't want to invest, investigate or whatever. They turn a blind eye to see or to go what? What we call it? Going down in the rabbit's hole now. Going down in the rabbit's hole and finding out the truth. Going down in the rabbit hole and finding that almost your whole reality begins to untwine. And so people, like I was saying, when it's talk about nearsightedness, that which is right here at you, that it seems so clear to you that it's real, that it has to be, that 1 + 1 has to equal 2. Now the trending thing is 1 + 1 can equal 3. When we think of it from the aspect of a man meet a woman and they get it in and they have a baby, make 3. So it's not what I'm saying. Not everything that we're experiencing in our reality is what we believe it is or what we're perceiving that it is. I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean. When I was younger, I was naive. I was oblivious that there were people that were starving in the world. See, in my immediate environment, in my reality, it looked like everybody was living like I was. I didn't even know that there were people that lived next door to me that were eating just spaghetti, and if they were lucky, some spaghetti and margarine. Well, me, my little fat self, I'm eating corned beef sandwiches and steaks because my mama fed me good because she was able to do so. But that wasn't the reality for everybody. But I didn't know it based on my perspective. I didn't know that, like I tell y'all how my mom and them made sure I went school shopping at the beginning of every school year. Then I went summer shopping at the beginning of the summer. Actually, I went shopping twice during the school year and in the summer. I'm not bragging. I'm just using that as an example to say, hey, I didn't know that there were other people, my peers that I went to school with, that weren't blessed like I was. I didn't know that. I was totally naive. I was totally oblivious to it. I was completely blind. I probably couldn't even see the E. And there are people in this world just like that. There are people, that think because they can go downstairs in their kitchen or go in, I'll say in their kitchen, I'm just upstairs, go in their kitchen and make whatever they want to eat, that their neighbor has something to eat, or if their, I'll just say child, gets to school, that the next door neighbor's child can get to school. And many of us say, well, it's not none of our business. See, it goes back to that thing where I'm talking about, we're all these different spirits coming from different places. Or are we just, how can I say, are we just, I need a word. I'm going to lose myself. I'm going to lose it. Come back. People don't care. They say they don't care if a person, and see, it goes back into, why are we human beings here? Why have these different spirits come into this physical realm and jumped into a physical body? Why? We all came in basically the same way. And then it's a whole nother thing. We gotta, I'll say this, it will be beneficial for us to see that there is artificial insemination and different scientific techniques or different types of scientific technology that fashions physical bodies or vessels, and spirits are taking those vessels as well. So I think that's a whole nother video. I ain't gonna go there. I'm gonna leave that alone. So that's getting more advanced, so I'm gonna leave that alone. And so because I'm gonna just try to keep it basic. If we all entered here basically the same way, came in with empty backpacks to do whatever, how have we gotten to this place where we don't care if another is okay? I hope that makes sense. How? And we all came from the same place. The only reason why these true extreme distinctions exist as far as economics, finances, and different classes exist, all of that is man-made. It's all man-made. And because of that man-made structure, that or philosophy, and not only philosophy, but I can't think of the other word, but philosophy. Remember, philosophies train a person's mind. For hundreds of years or thousands of years, our minds have been framed. Going back to the calendar. Remember, it was the before Christ and the after Christ. See, the before Christ, I don't believe the structure that we live up under existed. And I believe that people died early because we didn't have the technology that we have. We didn't have the medical know-how. We weren't really aware of this realm. All that before Christ stuff, we was figuring all this stuff out, all this whole realm out. And then we also figured out, I don't know if some alien came and brought it to us, if somebody got a divine revelation, but we learned and come to understand that we needed a structure and a hierarchy in order to effectively and sustainably distribute all the natural resources of the earth to all the people in the earth at any given time. That's what we figured out. And so that's what we've been doing. But once that system was established, that after Christ was established, it also eventually came with a philosophy that there, how do I say, of that division, that the economic division, the social division, the classism. That's what ended up coming with the structure. And the reason why that came with the structure, see, these are things we're not seeing. And if we cannot see these things, I don't believe really that we can overcome the hurdles that exists before us. The hurdles are already dropping into our reality. And yes, if we begin to see clearly, we can overcome them. But if we don't see clearly, we're not going to overcome them. We're going to constantly stumble. We're going to constantly fall. And ultimately, I think part of humanity will be destroyed, and the other part will be furtherly enslaved. That's a whole nother video. Ain't gonna go into that. And then there will be this further. I'm gonna tell you, the powers that be, the elitists, will be the ones that ascend. They will ascend, but the rest of humanity will not. Based on my research, the elitist only consists of 1% of the world's population, if I remember that correctly. So that suggests that only 1% of the world's population will ascend. And if that world's population ascends, that 1%, that means that there's another percentage of the world population that would descend. And then even lower than that, there's another percentage. I think this is a smaller percentage will be done away with. Not just by man's works, but definitely by. I'm talking about they not just out just knocking folks off. I'm talking about literally based on the life and the way it's set up and the distribution of, or the inability to distribute the natural resources because the whole system break down, failing health, contaminants, and there's a percentage of the world population that's going to fall off. They ain't going to pyramid at the bottom. So these are the things that, again, we need for 2020 vision. Oh, y'all, I'm just rambling. I can't even see y'all. If y'all talking, I can't see y'all. But thank you for being here at Can Angels Fly Tarot. Let me go back to this nearsightedness because I, got lost. And so the nearsightedness is talking about how people just, take what's in their immediate reality as, or what they can perceive as however they perceive it, and that, like, I'm going to give you another example of a person perceiving something. There are people in this world that have been manipulated, their minds and the way they think, to believe that they are supreme. Was it supremacy or such and such power or whatever the case may be. Again, that's just a mind, an opposed mind frame that keep conflict so you can't see what's going on. But that belief that one is superior, and therefore anybody that is hurt, failed, or different than themselves and hurt, failed, deserves to do so. and they cannot see past their reality. There are, what is it called, nearsighted? They're nearsighted. They can't see anything. Can't see nothing but that. And all that goes with it. Meaning I can hurt you, I can do you, I can destroy you, I can do whatever I want to do. And that's their reality. Period. The farsightedness. Now remember, the nearsightedness, the definition, remember, is this causes distant objects to be blurry, while the close objects, we were just talking about the close objects or the close experiences or the close reality appear normal. But it's the distant. Now let's talk about the distant experiences associated with nearsightedness, with those things that are in distant, blurry, obscured. You can't see them. That Neptunian energy, or Poseidon talks about the mind, the depth of the mind, in the confusion, depth of the mind in the confusion, in the depths. That's a whole nother thing. So in the distance, it's blurry. You can't see. You can't see what? The outcome of what your reality is. Now, if you brainwash to feel like you supreme and you suppressing others, this is what you see clearly. You're not seeing the distance. You're not seeing the future outcome of your behavior. Number one could be because you're so nearsighted and all you can see is this reality that you believe is true and it's not. That means you're not paying attention to what's going on. So you don't know what's brewing for you in the future. Get what I'm saying? Example. Let me give an example. Back to me. When I was younger, I was naive. I didn't know people didn't have, the same access to the foods that I was eating. I'm thinking we all living good. I'm just all dumb and naive. I didn't know that. And so this is my reality, the far off distance blur. What I didn't see is that some of my peers at the time would end up doing what? They would end up selling dope. I didn't know that because they was hungry. Or they was tired of eating bread or crumbs or, like I said, spaghetti with some margarine if they was lucky. I didn't know that. Or eating out of garbage cans. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they was going to end up robbing people and stealing from people and breaking in people's houses. See, I was too far because I was too preoccupied with this. Well, here we go. Humanity, at this time, is nearsighted. All they can see is what they're perceiving about their immediate experience and environment and relationships and stuff, and how they living or whatever they got going on, and not seeing everything else, not seeing all of these different injustices, and that they're going to have an outcome. Can't see it, as blurry, preoccupied with this, can't see, the healthcare industry and the different red tape they take people through, and we're not getting to the bottom of it, about remember, we are just spirits that came into this world. All of this extreme division and classism is man-made, okay? So all these people going through all of these medical issues and concerns, that can't, senior citizens that can't get their medicine. Why? Because the prices are too sky high. Why is the prices sky high? Why? That's the question. Why are the prices to medication sky high? Why? Because that's big business. It's big business. That's all it is. It's man-made. Now, remember, the medicine is made out of what? Just an example. It's cocaine. What? Heroin. Morphine. All these different plants, opiate plants. Yeah. Natural resources. Yeah. That are part of the self-contained ecosystem. Yeah. That regenerate themselves. Yeah. And then people like me and you or other people all over the world go to work to pluck the shit out, work at a refinery, and give it over to them to sell back to us. We can't see that. All we know is this is our system. This is how it's set up. And I got to go to work. I got to do that. I got to make the money. Then I go buy from them. Not seeing the long-term effect it's going to have on the rest of humanity. The aging, the sick, etc., etc. Hope that makes sense. what was I talking about? Nearsightedness, you know. And so, it's about seeing in the physical relative to our reality, and also in the spiritual. What effect is spiritually is it having on our souls when we're not resolving these issues that are dividing us and destroying us? It's making us hate each other, and therefore we commit heinous crimes upon each other. And it is possible, based on what I've been studying, that if you do something heinous to somebody, it has an impact upon your soul and their soul. The soul is eternal. That's some deep stuff. It's eternal. And I just told y'all a few minutes ago, a little while back, I experienced eternal hell, suffering, and torment. And I was saying, y'all know you're saying how. And you sitting here right before me, talking, active, smiling, joking, and laughing. Eternal hell and suffering is a state of consciousness. And when you are in that state of consciousness, it is void of every other consciousness that exists. And only to be there, one could understand. One could understand. You have no concept that there's anything else that exists. Nothing. It's quite contrary to what we experience here. Like, we can be so aware of so many things now, in this physical vessel. We're aware of a whole bunch of stuff. We can theorize and do all kind of stuff. But in that state of hell and torture and torment, there is nothing but nothing. It's nothing but nothing. It's no passion. It's no connection. It's no attachment. It's no nothing. And so what am I bringing out for? I'm saying the things that we are doing in this world is more than just having an impact on our physical body. It's having an impact, an imprint, making an imprint upon each one of our souls. So, anyway, I'm coming over to see what y'all... I know what I did. Because now I got to look at farsightedness to see if I can figure out a way to cuss and fuss. Let's see what y'all talking about. Octopus change their colors and the texture of their skin when they are in lust or frightened or angry. They turn red when they're angry. Right. See how they morph? Because they got different things going on, different spirits moving in them. Let's see. I missed something. Where'd it go? What happened with the interdimensional being was my fault. When he came into the room, I told him I would kick his ass. He told me to bring it. Woo! He was all black. His hair was dreadlocks. Really? What? We gonna talk about that one day, George. That sounds like a real live story. I wish I knew how to invite you on to do a video chat. Nancy, have you heard of the Georgia Guidestones? Yeah, that will answer your question. What they want to do with the population. Depopularize. You're right, George. Depopulation. And that must be the percentage that I see falling off, remaining. I don't think the Georgia Guidestones take into account that the 1% of the world's population was or at least the elite class, very wealthy. I don't think that takes them in account. And then it's that amount of people that they say. That's it. That's so interesting. You know what? That's so interesting because I hear about this stuff. This is what would be freaking me out on a personal level. Is what I cover on my YouTube channel come from my life experiences. That's where my awareness come from. I'm not a book reader. As y'all can see, I can barely read. I've just had so many different life experiences. It's just been weird. It's real weird. I'll say that. It's been really weird. And so, like, when I talk about, I see the ascension of the we'll say the 1%ers. I see there's a group of people that will continue to be, but descend. Um, and then there is a group, a thinner group of the world's population that will fall off. They will be just done away with in different ways. And then you bring up the Georgia Guidestones. How did that person know to put that on the Georgia Guidestones or wherever it came from? You know, how do they know that? And then I'm telling you from my research, I'm getting it. And when you said that line up with it. Like, you have to keep the world's population at, you know, in order to see this world is, you got to think about it. This whole world is self-contained, is self-sustaining. So those that are born and die in this realm over the course of its existence while it's running on that process, you know, in that program, it will also only allot the number of people to be alive over its surface based on what it has predetermined to have on its surface at any given time. And you know, within a life and the whole thing. And then people will die. So there's already been an established process that I do believe man is tweaking with, messing with. You know what I'm saying? And that's throwing it off. And so what it is that I believe that this system, the way it's set up in its corruption, can't continue to run and function effectively as long as it's corrupt. There's no way. As long as people are hungry, dying, I'm talking about dying from hunger or illness unnecessarily, this system cannot sustain itself. Because what? People gonna get fed up. You know, the wrong person gonna get sick. The wrong person gonna die. And it's gonna spark something, trigger something. And so that's what I think the phase we're in now is happening. It cannot. It cannot. And then because there are, you know, a lot of things people don't know. They don't see. They don't want to look at. They don't believe. But there are a lot of artificially created people in this world. A lot of, I forgot what they call it, where you, it's a lot of stuff going on here. It's a lot of stuff that people are afraid to tell the truth about because they don't want to be chastised, talked about, told they're a lie. But it's a whole lot of stuff going on. And something keep coming in my spirit and I can't get rid of it, George, about people that are in prison. I believe that there is a lot of abuse going on, and I'm not talking about just between the prisoners that many times had mental illness or, you know, gave up. I'm talking about the authorities. The authorities in there, something keep coming over me, and I'm trying to keep cool. I want to get that energy away from me. Ugh. But there's something going on there. But like referring to or point to like the Tuskegee, was it just Tuskegee Airmen and they gave syphilis something to, or something like that, and that whole, what they call it, human scientific experimentation. That's just one popular known event. That stuff is everywhere, but people are afraid to talk. So there's a lot of reality that exists here that people are not aware of, you know. And as long as we're not aware of what is going on behind the scenes, there's no way that we, people in humanity, can move to try to straighten things out. You got to find people that's dealing with the same thing as yourself, you know, whoever person may be. Like ADOS is an example. We talk about ADOS and different things like that. ADOS is trying to group together people that have a same or similar profile in order to do something about an injustice that was suffered by a particular group. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where we are at this point in humanity. If we want to begin to overcome these hurdles, that is something that the people that create humanity are going to have to do. And there are many types of groups that can be developed, created based on shared profiles of different types. It's a lot of stuff that needs to go on, and it's so much that it is important for people to be able to see clearly. Otherwise, it's that Georgia Guidestone stuff. So, Georgia Guidestone stuff. So, you say, what you're talking about sounds like the movie Asylum with Matt Damon. Quite a bit like that, yep. Except for I don't see him leaving this earth. But, yep, Matt Damon. I like that movie. That's one of the movies I like. I'm going to have to watch that. Now, I would like them to come out with some new movies. I don't like all the police stuff. I like stuff like that. And The Day After Tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. And I don't even go into that too much into that the earth disaster, because I feel like the earth is on a system. And I think man has, again, kind of thrown that system off. And so, whatever the earth do, I ain't got a problem with it. But again, I think I know man do some stuff to mess up that our weather patterns. Those weather patterns. Oh, okay. Let me go look here, because I've been on here 2 hours running my mouth. Okay, let me read farsightedness. What does it say about farsightedness? I can't see. How do I do that? I can't even see that one. Isn't that okay? Here it goes. Farsightedness, also known as hypermetropa or hypermetropa, is a condition of the eye in which light is focused behind instead of on the retina. This results in close objects being blurry, while far objects may appear normal. Wow. So let's look at that as far as our, glancing at our reality. Farsightedness. Let's talk about people that are farsighted. I wish it gave it the number. And they got a new one of these out, a new scale or test, vision test. And I think it's more three-dimensional kind of, or dimensional. It has some type of dimensions to it or something. So that's deep. That's a whole nother thing. I ain't gonna mess with it. I ain't gonna tackle it. So let's talk about when things that are up close are blurry. Let's see an example. Blurry. I'm gonna give you one. When a person is in a relationship and they're loyal to the relationship and they talk about, oh, Johnny or Mary, they're fabulous. Johnny do this, Mary do that. I love them, they love me. But they can't see the relationship clear. That thing is right up on them. That's real intimate. That's real close. Real time in their life. They can't see that person have no love for them. None. They can't see that person does, what they call it when a person does, what's it called? What they call it when it's, hold on y'all, I'm hungry. It's called, what is it called? It's called, when a person talk to you and they talk to you slick, and they what they call it, verbal abuse, but they real slick. What they call it? It's called, what is it called, George? It's verbal abuse, but it's like covert, that kind of thing, They have covertly, pecans, anyone, They just kind of underhand and slick talking, talking down about you, throw you under the bus while you praising them. That person is not that important to me. Those kind of things. That's a example in our reality where a person is, what's that, farsightedness? Or was that nearsightedness? Okay. Farsighted. 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 And the person is farsighted. So, high reflection diary, welcome in. And you can't see. But you can see clear as the day the future. You may know very well in your heart of hearts that you ain't going to end up with that person. But you right now in the real time, you always pumping them up, praising them and all kind of stuff. And know dang on well, 5-10 years from now, y'all ain't gonna be together. And you know dang on well in your heart of hearts that person gonna leave you eventually, marry somebody else, take you for all you got. You go to work, go to sleep one day, wake up or come home, and they gone with everything you own. You can see clearly the future, but you can't see what's happening now. Possible example. He said, you think you clicked in at the right time? Maybe. Right now, we're talking about seeing in 2020 vision, both in the physical and the spiritual, relative to our reality, now that we've entered this new decade. And so we dealt with nearsightedness, and now we're just dealing with farsightedness. If I got it correct, farsightedness is where everything right up on you, your reality, your experience is blurry to you. You can't see it. But the end outcome, or the distant event or experiences, you can see clearly. It was one other thing I wanted to talk about. I saw relative to clarity of vision. How clear can you see our reality? How clear can you see your reality? I just wonder. Let's see. Other optical causes are some stigmas, word I can't pronounce, more complex corneal irregularities, the anomalies. These anomalies can mostly be corrected by optical means such as glasses, contact lenses, and laser surgery. Well, I do believe divinity is about to give us all laser surgery. It's trying to get us to see. That makes sense to me. Glasses. What are glasses? What could be glasses? Let's get a comparable glass. If you're not a person that can see all these things I've talked about and so much more, the glasses could be seeing the world through my eyes here on my channel and the things I talk about. Or maybe you can see life through somebody in your immediate environment's life. Like go visit somebody that, they may have a smile on their face or have a good mask on or fronts, but you in your rational mind, it's no way that they making it happen. If you have something to offer a person, oh, this is so crazy, because we as people, just another thing, we are horrible people. And I stop to say that we are horrible people because if somebody lends a hand to us, we take advantage of them. Stop taking advantage of people. But I guess until it's really a even distribution, a reasonably even distribution of resources, or whatever offers people security, there's always going to be somebody taking advantage of another, or not being content. That was another thing we talked about that came up the other day. I don't think I finished my thought. It's something about being content that keeps coming up too. But I'm not talking about being content with mediocrity or mediocre. It's like the man-made philosophy or the man-made vision of, man-made classism. Man-made these extreme variations in like income. And how can we, when I say we, I'm talking about humanity, kind of spread that thinner? People that have earned hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, or millions of dollars a year, whatever, six figures and up, have grown, like the stars said back in the day, so you've grown to be having a sense of entitlement, egotism, narcissistic, and materialistic. And because you possess these spirits, or the spirits associated with that state of consciousness, that's a whole deep thing. Whole deep thing. Y'all, I know sometimes I stop talking and don't finish my thought because I be wanting the information. And sometimes it's coming in so rapidly, or coming in for so many different angles, that I can't even finish my thoughts. Because if I keep talking, I ain't going to hear. But you don't know the suffering of another. Put the glasses on. Ooh. 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 See, I have some things I don't understand. I don't know. I can't see. I can't even see the E on it. And that's the part where back to them Georgia Guidestones. George. Say that takes place, that whole thing where the 1%ers are seeing the people that's on the Georgia Guidestones. How many they say supposed to be on this earth? Whatever the Georgia Guidestones say, we're going to use that as a template of the amount of people that should be on the earth at any given time, period. Those people are the people that descend, rest, dead, off, knocked off, gone. Those people that are left here on the earth, remember, they descend. Now, I don't know, I ain't got the information on how they're further divided. There's still a division that occurs. But their souls, remember, their souls is still about to, it's all go to the soul. This flesh body is temporary. It will deteriorate. Eventually, as soon as the spirit come out, it will deteriorate. Their souls. That's an interesting thing. Where do we? I don't understand. I don't see the link. I don't see the link of the spirit come in and we have our experiences. We're trying to find this one central place of consciousness and awareness. What is it? And then if they go out, those people go out of here and haven't found the consciousness, understand. I don't understand. Because going back into reincarnation, does reincarnation stop? It doesn't stop. I'm not sure about. Does reincarnation stop at this point? What am I talking about? What I'm seeing for the future of humanity. This is the more distant future of humanity. Does reincarnation stop? Interesting. Anyway, glasses or contact lenses. You know, looking at the laser surgery again, the divinity is trying to do laser surgery on humanity so we can see. Do you understand what laser surgery would mean for us to see our reality the way it is? Do you understand? We see it just in my area. They just reported a couple of days ago. I think it was New Year's Eve. And I think even the day before New Year's Eve. It's somebody around here, some folks, some men, trying to kidnap young women. And the men tried to kidnap the young women from this Coney Island in my area. And the young women went to fight them off, and the man hit one of the women over the head with a glass bottle. Another one, she was trying to run away, and the man shot her. But we can't see. That's laser surgery. They're getting, direct, blunt. So you have a choice but to see reality. I don't know what we're gonna do. I really don't know what we're gonna do, y'all. I hope we get to see 2020. I really hope we get to see 2020. Okay, y'all. I was a passive aggressive. Thank you. My mind be everywhere. I think, okay, I can see my reality. It's very scary to be this spiritually inclined and indecisive about what to do, about it being that whatever decision I make directly affects my children. But these people help me. But I know they are not really in my corner. Ooh-wee. I feel a ping pong with being taken advantage of. Ain't that something? I understand that one, reflection. I definitely understand that very well. And I often ask divinity. I say I'm right. I often ask divinity. I was like, why do such things happen like that? Where sometimes the people that help you really don't have your best interest at hand. But that's all you have accessible to you. And you're in this place where you need that assistance or help or, connection or referral. And sometimes I get answers, but it doesn't make any sense. Y'all, I'm just kind of off topic now. Just talking a little bit. It just makes sense. And I look at my whole life and the experiences I've had. And there's been a lot of different experiences that don't seem like they go together at all. Some, I'm like, where did that even come from? Why did that happen? Over time, I gained clarity on that. And I gained clarity, I tell you, I've said it. because I realized that I could sit in many different scenarios and have knowledge and awareness through my previous experiences about whatever. So I could relate. And got pecan stuck in the back of my throat. And then I look at like those type of experience, like what am I supposed to be getting from that? What am I supposed to get? Humbleness? You want me to be humble? Is the, you know, these different type of challenges that don't make any, is it trying to keep me humble? Keep me humble? Because there's been times, and it doesn't make sense in my life, that I had mad money. Mad money. I don't mess up my money. But I guess if I always had money, if I always had stability, if I always had love, put it like this, if life never told me no about all the things that a person, namely me, could desire, maybe I would be so arrogant that I would be useless. That's what I've come up with. I would be so arrogant that I would be useless. Because even after through all my hardships, trials, and tribulations, and it's all kind of dumb, I still ain't cuss. I still got a considerable ego. So could you imagine if life was a crystal staircase, as Maya Angelou, it was a crystal staircase, I'd probably be an arrogant, egotistical, narcissistic, self-centered, self-entitled mother, sister. Probably. But due to them hardships, I guess it keep me level. Keep me level. Never know where I'm called to act, called to action. And I guess I can't, I try not to complain. I talk about smoothing over economics around the world for everybody to be okay. Utopia. I'm an idealist. Even in my life, I'm not rich. I'm not wealthy. Not rich. But neither am I poor or do I feel poor. I'm okay. I feel like I'm okay. Now I had them times where I wasn't okay. But even in them, I was okay. So I say that because, like, what do we each really, really need to be okay? That's interesting how that varies from person to person. And actually, when we come to believe that we need to be okay and to be happy and to feel, we have emotional fulfillment, has been manipulated by the philosophies of the powers that be. I feel like they made people be arrogant and egotistical and narcissistic and feeling like they're supreme or superior. It was all playing. But nobody can see that. Nobody can see that. So I guess statements like, or quotes like, you can only put one leg in a pair of pants at a time. You can only wear, basically one pair of pants. You can only stand on one spot on this earth. It just shows you don't need that much. Even the fattest person can only eat so much food. You know? That's interesting. Even men, the biggest cheat, can only F so many women. I still haven't cursed. Interesting. In the course of a woman's life, she can only have so many kids. You're only going to live so many years. But yet, we want so much. That's interesting. It's so interesting to me. I really be thinking y'all talking to myself sometime. You said speaking of vision, I heard that Woody Allen has an eye condition that he can't see black people. That's why he never cast any black people in his movies. That's a room. That gotta be a rumor. Well, he would have made a mistake and cast some black people in there. Because George, you silly. Hey, you the new trivia. We gonna do a Can Angels Fly Trivia Day, and you gonna be the one to do the trivia. He said you can understand that. Yeah, we live in a strange, strange world. Can you see your reality? Can you see reality? What's the weirdest thing? What is it that people cannot see? Like religion. You know, the impact religion has had upon people. I know religion messed me up. Religion messed me up. But it also, when I was ready, gave me a lot. It exposed a lot. Because what I was learning in the church didn't serve no purpose. Except for when it's babes do what babes do. It had no power. But the day I realized that Bible was a zip file and it needed to be unzipped, that's when I learned so much about this realm. And I understood that it was orchestrated, all planned out. It was a blueprint, all kind of stuff. I go, wow. But that also made me mad from all that money I put into that church. It made me mad as hell. But, and I mean, that's another thing, the church. At this point in time, enough is a damn enough. Enough is enough. The churches are a good organization to distribute support of various types to the communities that they sit in. That's what they're for. And then to teach the basics. You know, like women needing daycare. When I was at the daycare I worked at, these women would have to travel several miles. Some of them would travel on the bus, riding 2 or 3 buses with 2 and 3 kids in the dead of winter. Hey, why would they have to leave their community? What the heck? I almost cussed. Is the church serving? These are the kind of things can we see? Can we see? And then we want to criticize people for not doing better. But we set the odds against them. That's crazy. Then, there's another thing we got to see on it. I believe it would be beneficial for us to see on a personal, intimate level. Is the truth about our own lives. That's the first step. The truth about your life. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't been loved the way you want to be loved, okay, try not to rush it and focus on something else. If you're in a relationship that is just draining you of your life force, get them out of it. Yes, it hurt, but it's going to stop hurting eventually. If you stay in it, like my mom said, if you stay in it, you're going to continue to hurt. It ain't going to have no end date. But if you make up your mind and just get on up out of it, eventually it's going to stop hurting. Things we need to do better. We just, humanity needs, I just don't understand. You know, I sit here and I do all this work and research and everything and listen to all this stuff that come in out here. But I ain't being funny. I don't think people can do better. I think it's a few people. But the few people that have good intentions are improperly influenced by the majority. Now, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So, I guess my next level that I'm going to move on is I'm going to be moving on about this, not physically. I got to be here for a while. But I want to move about this physical body. And we got to explore. I'm going to explore where we go. Basically, it says, well, he writes a script that describes the character before he picks the folks. But, oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's what he say he do? Okay. Basically, they want us all to live like the people on Skid Row. That's the way it seems. As long as we are struggling, they can get away with stuff. That's what I believe is happening. I really do. But then when we start talking about like 1%ers, remember we did the video, it's talking about the knowing for 2020, knowing what you're dealing with when you standing face to face with folks, the spirits that dwell within them. Oh, that's what I was talking about, how depending on what spirit a person has dwelling in them, whatever spirit is active in their vessel, usually sometimes it's subtle, other times it's very bold. Like the spirit has an embroidered like impression, or in the person's physical body. And so those people that the elitists, the 1%, how we like to label them, remember they have a certain consciousness. Their consciousness is not most others' consciousness. That's what another thing that we have to see. These people are not going to be fair. They're not going to believe in equality. They're not going to believe in love. They're not going to believe in healing. They're not going to believe in fairness. Why? Because it's not a part of their consciousness, meaning the set of information they get. So that when you don't have it, like, what is it to love? Remember I talked about when divinity talked to me, it's this light, this white light comes, and you imagine this white light with all these words in it: love, compassion, sensitivity, caring, just being with some more words, very receptive, open, joyful, full. That's love. That's the beam, the message he sends. But let's say any words that are not in that beam of light, I am not going to perceive, period. Ain't nothing to comprehend. I ain't going to perceive them. So God sent this white light with all the terms of work. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it like this. I'm about to go we're going to talk about the white light. I just had a creative thought. But I'm on my www.dictionary.com under the thesaurus part, and I'm going to type in the word love. I want you to think right now, oh man, I can't show y'all all I got personal stuff. Oh man. I think y'all can see it. Maybe y'all can't see it. I don't know. I got to see. Let me see. I'm about to see. Yeah, y'all can see. Can y'all see? Let me see if y'all can see. Yeah, I can't see. I can't make it no smaller. So I couldn't see. I don't know if y'all can see. Could y'all see my personal business? Because I was going to try to do something, but I had to clean my computer out and send my personal business to my stuff I'm creating from. Can't have all my stuff out here in the public's eye. But I was going to do this light because, okay, I'm on, I would say, it hurts me how much people take the Bible and hurt people with trying to seek salvation. Seek salvation by doing the works. Do the works. Do the Christ-like works. Get the Christ consciousness. Do the works yourself. Break your own yard. Scratch your neighbor's back. Or you'll be waiting. People will be waiting. They play on desperation, one of the most dangerous states of mind. It is. One of the most desperate states of mind. That's it. And I know that state too. Because I told you my knees was raw. I used to pray so much. That's why my knees black now. Laying prostrate. I got them together a little bit, but they was raw. They was red. Oh, for a long time. Okay. Now, right now, I'm talking about, what am I talking about? Because this video, remember, is about 2020, getting clear vision physically and spiritually relative to our reality. But right now, I'm talking about the one percenters, the elitists, how we like to label I guess the most wealthiest and most secure people in this world. I'm talking about them and how they have a particular level of consciousness. And right now I'm giving an example of how I know that they have a particular set of consciousness, and that set of consciousness consists of just particular or certain things, and it is void of anything else. It's just not totally anything else. They may have tapped into different sets of consciousness, but if they ain't tapped into a particular consciousness like this one right here, then they ain't got this. They don't understand this. It's nothing to comprehend. They don't know it. So, not even in their own life, in their own intimate life. Meaning they don't have the word I'm using or the term that I'm using. God comes and he shines. I wonder why I can't. I really would like to put that there. I don't like when technology tells me what to do, but I'm a submit because I don't want my personal business out by mistake. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, divinity or some benevolent entity wants to send me a message. All of a sudden, the message comes in this light. We're going to say it's divinity. Divinity comes, this light shines. Oh, can I get some light like that? And in this light that you see all in my glasses, there are all these words. Because the message that divinity is giving me is this in the light. All these words. Love, affection, appreciation, devotion, emotion, fondness, friendliness, and infatuation, lust, passion. Interesting words. Just an example. Ride the wave with me. These are all synonyms for love. Respect, taste, tenderness, yearning. I don't know that word. Adulation. Now I don't know this one. Allegation. I don't know this word. What is this word? Say it.
Allegiance.
Allegiance. One day I will learn. Allegiance.
Amity.
Amity. Allegiance. Amity. Sometimes I can read, and other times I cannot. Amorousness. Amorousness. Amor. Adore. Attachment. Case. For love. Okay, that's a love. And a synonym for love is case. Didn't know that. Cherishing, crush, delight, devotedness, enchantment, enjoyment, fever. Fever? No. Go. Do this.
Fervor.
Fervor. Yeah, pray for me. Fervor. Go back. Am I there? All these are synonyms for the word love. Fidelity, flame, hankering. Got a hankering for you. Adultery. Adultery. Inclination, involvement, like, particular. No, partiality. Am I reading that correctly? I don't know. Come on, jump on. Help me out. I'm going to increase my vocabulary. I'm going to learn how to read.
Partiality.
Partiality. Okay. Go back. Still reading the synonyms of love because I'm getting this message from divinity. These are like the same messages that those 1% of those elitists get. They get a stream of information, a set of information. And so piety, rapture, regard, relish, sentimental, weakness, worship, zeal, mad for, and soft spot. Those are all synonyms for the word love. Just as an example. So divinity wants to talk to me, send me a message. Foof, it's the word love and all of those synonyms I read, even though that's the best example I can come up with. Them wasn't the most appropriate words, not the way I would see it, but possible, okay. And so all of those words come in. And so what I would get, I'm like, oh, okay. I have a level of consciousness. And then because I'm so conscious of what love is, I know it's about having a soft spot. It's about caring. It's about being, having, what do they say, adornment or amore, talking about love and funness and soft emotions and devotion. That's the message from divinity. And this is how the body, my mind, my brain processes. The mind is what's receiving the words, that collection of words out the light, and my brain processes it and like, okay, that's love, and okay, love is this, and I've learned that love is, and and so all this information is coming in. And once one receives that information, the brain processes it. It was like, okay, I know what love is. I know what amore is. I know what sensitivity and being soft and gentle and receptive is. Now I have an understanding about what divinity, in this case, is talking to me about. So with that understanding becomes this awareness about, what's the image of love? Like with a mom, the purest. And then, mind you, this is the purest expression of love that God is talking about. So you pick up, it's pure. And so the purest kind of expression is when a mom cuddles a baby and nurtures it and would die for it, is that kind of understanding. So imagine God say, Nancy, I want you going out today, and I ain't gonna say go, just I'm walking down the street, boom, it hit me. Light, whole thing happens within seconds, like boom. I know that this person, whoever God triggers that for, it's like needs sensitivity, and it's the way. Then I have to judge that person in the reality in the world, depending on the circumstances, situation, to offer the type of love that they need in the moment. You know what I'm saying? It could be the love. They could be a person just standing in the rain. And I'm not saying just walking up being kind. I'm not saying this always happens. You see somebody standing out in the rain. You can share your umbrella just because you think it'll be a nice thing to do. But there are times that divinity or more benevolent beings can come to you. And they flood you with that information and say, for example, that person needs love. Right now, this person needs love. Processing through the mind, through the circumstance, situation. Okay, love is, they need an umbrella. You got the umbrella, because it's thunderstorming. Got this big, 24 spoke, 18 spoke umbrella, 50 something inches wide. This is enough for 2-3 people. Go. So you just kind of just move over, put the umbrella over the person, and before that experience is over, they'll say, I was feeling mighty low. They will confirm. Many times they'll confirm. I was feeling mighty low, not loved, not appreciated, or that I was losing, that there was no reason to live at all. And you, whoever you are, when you answer, or receive a message and move on it, and that's just an example. Confirmation usually comes, is what I'm saying. They'll say, example, I was thinking about killing myself. I was going to kill myself when I got home. But because you shared your umbrella without asking, you gave me new hope. These are the kind of things. So you shared that kind of example to go back to the people that are the 1%ers or the elitists. They may have, this is it. Going back to the thesaurus, I'm just going to put in the word greed and see what comes up. in their consciousness. Remember, the information that we get is not always from God or um, benevolent beings. It could be from malefic beings, dark beings, from hell. Heck, a person on any level of life could have been born from a place of hell or emptiness, or so that might be a conscious state they came out knowing. And so I see right now I'm gonna have to start clicking to get an understanding, get a pronunciation of some of these words.
avarice,
So we're looking at the word greed. And
avarice,
so this person has the consciousness of avarice, greed, avarice. And it could be linked with another: access, gluttony, hunger, longing, selfishness. Um, come on, come on, come on, come on.
acquisitive,
Inquisitive? Really? Sometimes I guess I don't know how to pronounce words in relation. I would never imagine inquisitive associated with greed. Really? Selfishness. Okay. What time is it? 3 o'clock, almost 3 o'clock. Yeah, time for me to go to bed.
avidity,
Avidity? Really? Associated with greed? Consciousness, a state of being, a set of information. Is the best example I can offer. Covetedness. Covetedness. Craving, eagerness, indulgence, intemperance, piggishness, ravenous. Ooh, gosh. Grims, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But those are all the terms or the words that are synonyms for greed. And so let's say that the 1%ers or the people that can really take advantage, we know that these people have a dark spirit on them because they're going against what is natural or the natural order. Remember, this is self-contained ecosystem. Is self-explanatory. Only the blind cannot see that this is a self-contained, self-sustainable ecosystem. And so when a person goes against the ecosystem and its flow and the rhythm for their own betterment, we understand that the person or, the persons are in tune with darker negative energies. And so the darker negative energies speak to the minds of those people, and it can use give the consciousness of the associated with the word, this dark or gray light come on them, and the word in greed and all its synonyms, and then the person understands oh, okay, I understand that if I don't manipulate all of these circumstances and situations in my favor and make sure that they always stay in my favor, I could deal with hunger or longing. And then it's on the spiritual realm too, a spiritual level too. But we ain't gonna go there. We're just gonna stay in the physical. And so they are aware of that. And then each, greed has babies or offsprings. You know what I'm saying? Babies or offsprings, where there's greed, there is what? Lack. There is a short supply of, or a lack. I don't know what's the other word. When there's greed, if somebody is greedy, they're taking so much, then there is a relative spirit that comes, which is lack. Let's see. I'm trying to give y'all the best example I can to help y'all begin to see, as it seems like 2020 is about gaining visual clarity, both in the physical and spiritual. But lack means absence, inadequacy. So who's going to be inadequate? Not the 1%er, not the elitist. No. Another will be deemed inadequate. Another will take these synonyms of loss. The other will suffer poverty. Because what? One has received the consciousness of greed, and greed produces babies, and the baby produced by greed is poverty and loss. I hope that made sense. And so, I was like, y'all, I wasn't even on that page. I was busy looking. Take myself to bed. When I become a 1%, I'll change this world. I hope you do. Don't let me be goofy. Please don't be goofy. Hello, Goofy. Happy New Year. Know what? Reflections Diary. She was asking if we could see any of her personal stuff. Oh, you couldn't see it. Oh, okay. I was just going to put a beam of light up there, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to go into that because that I would like to create an illusion, or what you call it, an imagery of receiving messages from these different dimensions and spirits. Even if that need is not even physically, there mentally from some sort of trauma, either past or present. Some trauma, the traumas we got to get rid of. So how do we do that? As long as there's an imbalance. I really, to this point, this is where did I drop my peanut? Peanut? Remember, a lot of these things I talk about, as well as other people, I'm sure, can lead a person to suffer like psychosis, schizophrenia. I think a lot of people want to start dealing with that stuff more and more. You got to keep snatching your sanity back. That's another thing people hopefully learn. Keep snatching your sanity back. Because on this trip, on the spiritual awakening, during the spiritual awakening, you're going to learn like many people are going to learn many things that are going to blow their mind. Snatch your mind back. And what are you snatching your mind back to? Your soul. Snatch your soul right on back to you. Snatch it right on back to you. You will have to control that. I can tell y'all that. I don't want to be a person that loses it. But one of the things I'm dealing with is I just don't see. Telling y'all, for the life of me, all I can see myself as is an idealist and a person that believes or has this concept that there could possibly be a utopia. That's what I speak. What I speak about suggests that there could be a utopia. Shows that I have an idealistic mindset. But the reality is, I don't see how it could possibly be. And the reality on the deepest level of who I am, I think that eventually, and I'm not talking about now, so I ain't trying to scare nobody, I think this whole physical thing will end. It's going to end. But I don't think it's anytime soon. When I'm thinking of the time frame of, they say the earth is millions of years old. Billions even. I don't think we have billions of years left. But I think physicality, as we know it, has to end. I don't see as I think it is a failed attempt to. I don't think YouTube will be ready for this kind of stuff. I really don't. But I think it's a failed attempt to whatever, again, going back to that core mindset or understanding that all spirits that have come into this physical realm and taken on the physical body, what we're supposed to find in common while we're here, whatever that is, I think it's a failed attempt. I think this physical realm was an attempt to get us, to be able to agree upon something or find a central focus of understanding or a central focus of just being able to focus on it all together, all coming up with the same, and that's straight on the spiritual level. And I think it's been a failed like scientific attempt for us to do so. I think we failed. This is not the right experiment. It didn't go right. Eventually, I think it's going to end. Things going to end. Must have had some positive prospect or something. Maybe we haven't developed enough. I mean, that's one thing. I'll say I know it ain't no time soon because I know we haven't developed developed enough based on the stuff I'm learning and interpreting. It still shows like these different phases we'll go through in order to try to have 2020 vision. Only through 2020 vision can we say, oh, I understand what we have to do now to get it together and maybe balance our souls. I said some souls, because I don't get, some souls come from hell. Others come from a place of joy, 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 joy. What could we possibly have in common? What is the central part? You know what I'm saying? Is it this neutralizing of the soul that's needed? I don't know. Deep thoughts. Things I have yet to get the answer to. We're going to see what happened after, a few more thousand years. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I know I ain't going to go to sleep. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on Netflix. See, when I've been sick, sick, taking medicine and sleeping. All I do is sleep. And so I'll be up in the middle of the night like a crazy person. Reflection diary, okay. Even if that need is not even physical, okay. I said, I agree. It will end sadly, unsure of how soon. But the 1% will have an effect on who is left here. But that's the whole thing. That's only a phase. That's just a part of the phase. See, it's different, or different stages. That's one of the stages. But I'm talking about there's a stage where physicality, human beings, I don't see us existing. The whole system, the experiment failed. If we can't get whatever we need to have in common, if these different stages we about to go through, including what you share reflections, if it don't work, if we can't figure out what we're supposed to figure out and get it done, this experience will not exist anymore. But I believe that's thousands of years from now. I really do. And I think eventually, man going to destroy itself. It's going to destroy its whole self. But we look at it like, okay, man destroyed itself, what they do. But it's actually the outcome because it didn't work, whatever again. I really want to go into the spirits. And I'm going to let y'all go in a minute. In about 15 minutes, I'm going to let you go in about 15 minutes. I need somebody to talk to. Well, back to talking about seeing spirits in people's bodies. Have you ever? Have you ever seen somebody that is possessed by our traditional Satan? You ever? Or the Baphomet? They had the horns and the whole thing. And a person, you know how a person just look, I don't know who you know, but they just look like whoever they are. Hey Jane, hey John. But if they had possessed that spirit, now this is one thing I disagree with people about, how they say Satan does not exist. Now Satan is a state of consciousness. But that image that we made, or the artists made, of Satan with the horns and everything, like Hellboy look, is a real entity. Now remember, Satan is a consciousness as well. It's a state of mind. And once you have a state of mind, you behave some way. But it also has a physical manifestation. But that manifestation only takes place inside of a person's physical body. Meaning that person themselves morph. And the actual, how can I say, the physical appearance of that entity rises out from up under their skin, and it is pronounced. And you can see different spirits on people. Like, for instance, when I talk about Satan, you can see Satan under people. Everything from the ridges on the head, the horns will rise up. Start paying attention to people. Their chin elongate. And you know how they usually have Satan with an elongated chin and the billy goat. And you can see, if you look close, pay attention. I'm telling you, y'all gonna start seeing stuff starting out as 2020. Satan is a fallen angel, but our spirits. Is a fallen angel, but our spirits are spirits. And so, I just seen so many. I was wondering, had y'all ever seen anything like that? I got a series of video. Oh, actually, I put a card on this video, and it's called "The Eyes Are the Window to the Soul," because I did deal with the eyes before, some years back. The eyes are the windows to the soul. And then I also have a video like relative to the spirits that dwell within. I think it's a series. It's called Spirit Talks, Transformers, I think. And it talks about the spirits that dwell within. And I talk about the different times that, a few of the times that I dealt with people in their cohabitating spirits, and how those cohabitating spirits manifested, made an imprint on their physical vessel, pushing out. It push out. And I bring that up because that was always something that was quite interesting to me. Of course, when I was younger, it happened. It's shocking. But it was interesting that, remember I was talking how we should be good stewards over our vessel. We should keep it controlled and contained and, regulated. And then, of course, we have to be aware of our cohabitating spirits. And whatever our cohabitating spirits are, they exist there for a reason. They have their time that they should be given, authority over the vessel, under close watch, of course, to do what they do. Because I'm not going to say a tulip is not going to, a tulip type spirit, just as an example, is not going to get you out of a situation where you might need to fight for your life. You know what I'm saying? It might be you need another spirit that's roughneck, where maybe a more tulip-like spirit will be better in an experience where you're having to collaborate with another and relax and lay back. I just say tulip spirit to make up some stuff, And so, hell, I didn't make it. So the spirit dwell within. You gotta know which one to use, when to use it, because that spirit that you bear, because it's gonna be a period, a point in time in your life when you're gonna need to use it. So something greater than us know these things. You have to go and use it. And remember, each spirit has its own set of consciousness. Like that made up Daisy spirit I got, it don't know nothing about violence and possibly death and revenge. Daisy don't know nothing about that. The double-headed dragon do. But that double-headed dragon don't have no consciousness about being relatable, soft, gentle, receptive, or what they call it when you work back and forth together, collaborating. Don't know nothing about that. Just Daisy know about being easy breezy, enjoying nature. The double-headed dragon don't know nothing about that. Don't know about fire. So again, these spirits bear different sets of consciousness that dwell within you. And so as we move into this decade, I do believe that we're going to start seeing people's true natures. You know? And you got to understand how to deal with those natures. And many of us are prepared. You just got to know which spirit to call up to do what it got to do within that moment, or that, you know what I'm saying, or circumstance or situation. And you will be successful. Y'all got to go back and look at the other videos I made. I know you've been here, George, but y'all got to go back and look at the previous last few live streams I made where I'm talking about these cohabitating spirits. Y'all let me know if this is weird for you. Now, George, I know it ain't weird for you. And Reflection, I know this ain't too weird for you. But what about the rest of y'all viewing? They ain't saying nothing. You know, is this weird to y'all? Do y'all know anything about what I'm talking about? Because if you don't, you need to get ready for 2020 and beyond. You better get ready. And again, you got to remember, these people, they have their basic appearance. Their basic appearance. So you're going to be looking at just us in the face. But you're going to be dealing with some other stuff. Some things that come from different dimensions. Or different realms, how I like to label it. You know? And sometimes, I was going to say, like if a spirit get out of control, like the devil, Satan get out of control and a person bear that spirit, or a double-headed dragon, they spirit get out of control and take control of their vessel, you may very well see that imprint is what I was trying to remember to say. That imprint of that entity within them. Just watch when you're dealing with people that's out of control. You'll see a physical manifestation through their flesh, like the being is underneath their flesh. And it may, again, just be subtle changes. But if you look, you can see, like, again, their bone structure may change or appear to change. And so all kind of things, depending on what spirit they are embodying that is active and controlling the vessel at the time. Just things to look for, y'all, so y'all can see. Okay, now. I still ain't did 15 minutes yet. I'm going to let y'all go. I didn't mean to get on here and spend 3 hours. Y'all know I must have been bored. You can see the devil in their eyes, and you can see the devil in a person's eyes. So you know what I'm talking about. Reflection. You can see the devil in folk eyes. You can see his facial features. And it don't matter what race the person is. It don't matter what race they are, what weight they are, what color they are. It don't matter. When the devil take control, you can see it flicker, and then you see the fire flicker in their eye. And again, you can see the bone structure change, the horns come out. Watch, they might be little lumps. But it'll start showing. It will start showing. I mean, the same thing. If a person, even a weasel, and you get them in a situation or a circumstance, and you put them on flame, watch, get your image of all these. Like I've tried to give y'all some images to reference. Get you some pictures of some of these wildlife, wolves and what's the sloth? We use the sloth and the wolf and the shoe. They pop up on you. They will pop and then a weasel, a snake. Oh, just watch a snake neck roll and they start moving. Just gotta watch people very closely, and you will see. You are so right. You say you see the fire burning in the devil's eyes. Ooh. You better know what you're dealing with, because the devil has a certain level of consciousness. Therefore, he knows certain things to do. He knows certain tricks. Now, who is the opposition of Satan? What church teach you? Christ. So we talk about Christ. How does Christ really overcome Satan? See, you need to understand the gist of that story. So if you stand face to face with Satan, you better know the story of Christ, so that you can outdo him. You better know that story all the way through. Don't just stop. You're going to have to be the resurrected one. The one that cast Satan into hell If you don't know the story, you're going to get ate up. Burn up. Done up. Joe, you say it would be great if everybody got together in this country and started a Maria Antoinette style revolution like they did in France. It just started chop it off chop their heads on off. Do we even know who these people are? That's what I wonder. Do we know who they really are? I really want to know, because I really want to tell somebody that I ain't gonna cuss. I'm not gonna cuss. I'm gonna be. And I seen on somebody's channel, y'all, just an announcement, and I think I said it, that we're gonna have to stop talking about the government. I'm gonna have to stop talking about the government and different things like that. I can't belittle, our system and things like that, which I think is so unfair. They don't want you to know the truth. So right now, you better get the truth. If you don't know the truth, I invite you to go back through my video catalog and watch every video I make until they make me take it down or tell us we can't talk about these kind of things no more. Because once we can't talk about these kind of things no more, and you better believe the day is coming, then we ain't got no comeback. And with the ain't no salvation in. You better learn while you can learn. You better learn the right things. Well, ain't gonna be no salvation. I don't care who you know. You can call on Jesus if you want to. Ain't gonna be no salvation. Oh God. Pretty ugly everything that the devil will show off. Will show. Oh yeah. Will act a fool. The truth, and believe with every atom of yourself who Christ is. You better be that. If Christ is the opposition to Satan, you better be all that. You better be able to die like Christ died and rose up. You better be able to die. Because devil gonna be, ain't no bar hold with the devil. He would destroy you. We do anything. There's no bar hold. There's no rules. There's no nothing. There's no integrity. So the devil is going to attack every way. And you better be able to resurrect. I mean, you better be able to phoenix, get up, Chiron, a wounded healer. You better do it all, and you better get back up, and you better learn from it, and then you better go ahead and move. You better know who you are, your power, and have tapped into all your abilities to kick the devil's. I didn't do it. I'm on best behavior, y'all. Anyway, I'm gonna count down. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna count down like they dropped that ball. When I got what? Let's see if I can hold out. I will have to start counting at 59, 50 for 10 seconds. I've been on here 3 hours. How do I do that? Every time. I have no idea. Let me see. Okay, I finished with this screen. So the next time I come on, I think I'm going to talk about consciousness. So people understand that about consciousness, because we don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, not even these spirits or entities. They don't have exposure to everything. And so it's only so much certain folks can do. If all you know is hate, all you can do is hate. That's it. That's all you can do is hate. And then it's also having different things of consciousness. It's interesting. Y'all, what am I doing? I'm just sitting here waiting to count down. Because I was too sick to count down for the new year. So I'm going to count down in a few seconds. I said up to 50. Because there's a counting up or down. It's crazy not to be too smart. I'll be holding on to just a little of my sanity, I think. Because these smarts... Let's see. All right, y'all. We about to count down. This is going into the New Can Angels Fly Tarot Live and more. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,